So, boys, it's February, which means another car pack is on the way for Forza Motorsport 6, and this one was, let's just call it, disappointing overall. I'm gonna run through all the cars and my personal opinion of them and what I think they should have done with this pack instead. I'm sure that many of you guys probably have differing opinions to me, but these are my thoughts on the pack and what I think of the cars. Anyway, so let's start it off with the 2015 Ford number 2 Daytona prototype. If you were watching the Daytona 24-hour race this past weekend, you would have seen this car in action. It was very, very cool. I think it actually had a crash in the race and actually didn't actually finish. But it was a very interesting race. It was actually a lot of fun to watch. And this car actually did rather well. I believe the number 1 Ford actually came 4th in its class, which wasn't too bad. But anyways, the car in the game is rather weird. Anytime you get over 170 miles an hour, the car's very, very jumpy. Alan and I took these cars online together and drove them in a race in a public lobby. And as soon as you got over around 150, 170 miles an hour, they would just become very jumpy and very, very floaty and very hard to control, which we don't know why that was, but they just sort of were. Anyways, actually pretty cool car. I enjoyed it, and I'm gonna have some fun probably driving it around in some open lobbies with you guys. Let's move it on to the other probably biggest car, and probably the car that sort of stole the show from the Daytona prototype, and that was the 2005 Pontiac Aztek, which you would have seen me do a Breaking Bad drift video on. We got all the cars from Breaking Bad and took them into a drift lobby and had some fun with them. It didn't go very well because there was me in a Pontiac Aztek, which is just awful, and a Jeep Grand Wagoneer, which was also not ideal, so it didn't go very well. Anyways, the Pontiac Aztek, although is dubbed as one of the world's worst cars, is actually kind of fun to have in the game just because of how ironic it is. I know a lot of people out there will just be like, why is this in the game? Well, I don't know. I can't answer that for you. I kind of enjoy it just because it is so different and something you wouldn't expect to see. Well, that's my personal opinion. Let's move it on to the 1992 Alfa Romeo Milano. It's basically an Alpha 75, which is what they called it in Europe. So yeah, you may have seen this car in Top Gear. I can't remember actually what the challenge was, but for whatever reason, Jeremy Clarkson decided to paint his green, like you can see in the video here. It's green with black racing stripes and white, and it's an interesting car. Anyways, I decided to do a drift build with this thing, and it didn't go really to plan, actually. I thought it would be like, I wanted to do just a basic drift build and take it online and do an open lobby, little public lobby drift video with you guys, and it didn't go fantastic. I figured out that this car was sort of more as a stunt car. It was very, very light, or at least it felt very, very light, and was able to do some sweet 360s. Anyways, I think that thing's pretty cool, and will actually get some proper use because it is a Top Gear car. Along with the Pontiac Aztek and that Ford, I think those 3 cars are at least going to get some minor use. Probably the Aztek the least out of the 3. It will probably get used once or twice, and then people just push it aside. The Daytona's not too bad, and the Alpha's just pretty damn cool overall. And then we get to the rest of the pack. The Mercury Cougar is boring, in my opinion. The Sunbeam Tiger is a car company I've never heard of, but it has a V8 engine in it, which is kind of cool, I guess. It was also featured in Get Smart, apparently. The Toyota Corolla, although quite boring overall, actually has a pretty cool body kit on it. It's like wide body and stuff, which is kind of cool, but still at the same time, just meh. And then we have a 90s Subaru, which is just meh. To be honest, I really don't like this car pack, and I think a lot of you guys would agree. Obviously, some of you guys may have different opinions. The Mercury might be one of your favorite cars, or the Sunbeam might be a car that you really, really wanted in this game. But thinking for the overall, the general Forza driver, the general Forza player, none of these cars are very interesting. None of these cars are cars that make me personally, or what I would imagine the general Forza player go, wow, I am so excited that's finally in the game. To me, Forza is all about having these cars that you would put up and pin up on your wall when you were a kid. Things like the BMW i8, the brand new Audi R8, a Nissan S14 drift car going crazy, bunch of tire smoke everywhere, or even something like a Mercedes 6x6 just being epic as hell. If you ask me personally, I think there are so many other cars that are way more interesting than these cars that they put in the game. I think, to be quite honest, if you want to skip out on a car pack, let it be this one. This one, if overall, I think's just kind of boring. It's just sort of like a filler pack. We know we have a Top Gear car pack coming out in April, and we know we have the Porsche pack coming out in March, so save up your money for that. We'll see what comes in those, and I think those are going to be a lot better. Like I said, though, this is my opinion on this pack. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm sure there are some of you guys who love the Pontiac Aztek, for instance, or love that Subaru and find it just really cool. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. No, I don't want an endo, boys. I don't want an end. Yo, the wheelie and the J-turn. That's incredible. Here you go.